Mirror Between Us. Episode 3. Numa Surprise. The village is protected on 3 sides, 2 mountain ranges, and a vast, unpredictable ocean. On the 4th side, it's a trapezoid field funneling toward the village, and right in the middle of the wide open field, a bonfire burns loud and proud, the size of a stubborn ego, and hotter than any welcome. It says, "If you're looking for trouble, start here." But trouble didn't come through the fire, nor did it come through the mirrors. Night Watch Mirror Realm. Portals that are still left have stopped closing. Some flicker quietly in corners of buildings or behind water barrels. Glad says it be dangerous to mess with one, just let them fizz out in a few days, and Aunt Glad seems thrilled. She's practically lived in the mirror realm for centuries and considers it more homey than reality anyway. So now, Kalm and Aunt Glad patrol between realms, claiming every piece of the village as secured, even if they mostly just steal snacks and glare at frost patterns. After sharing that green concoction, Aunt Glad keeps a bags on her at all times as giving them plenty of time to coordinate attack patterns Nada even got in the fun on the last of the meteor rats. Meanwhile, Grandpa Fury and Riot make rounds too, except theirs involve soaking up attention, compliments, and the occasional free meal from admirers in town before slipping back to the main camp to watch the fire. No one has ever seen Riot so clean in his life. He swears the bathhouse is very safe because of him. While the townspeople are at their most vulnerable, we all know he's just in the steam room getting hand-feed grapes by his admirers. It's well after sunset, clear, it's warm. The large fire is burning, and it seems like the last few nights, except they stop watching the ridgelines. Tonight, the whole crew lies on their backs, heads pointed inward like a human star 15 feet from the flames, just far enough so their eyes can see. Nata, Aunt Glad's ever-growing serpent that usually wrapped around Glad's leg, is curled in the center like a coiled pillow, head low but eyes tilted up. Kalm. Looks like the Constellation bears found a new orbit. Riot, grunting. Yeah, and a few of the meteor rats are back too. I thought we flattened those. Aunt Glad squints upward, then smiles. Nata? Look, your favorite's out. Bite is glowing tonight. Nata shifts, lifting slightly. Glad continues, pointing with a lazy finger. And that's Whisper, just over there. But you know better than to stare. 2-headed serpents are above your pay grade. She pats Nada gently. Riot, sitting up. What's that? Hanging off Numa? Kalm. Ice volcano? No, I know it's a birthday candle for Grandpa biggest birthday cheese wheel ever. Fury. No, I'm lactose intolerant. Whoever it is, they've got dumb taste. Looks like a melted icicle. Glad shrugs. Numa just likes jewelry. But by night 3, it stops being funny. Now, even from far below, the thing dangles, a long, jagged stream of blue-white ice. It sways like a streamer made of rock candy, catching starlight as it shifts. By night 4, the whole village is watching. Even the town drunk has sobered up enough to stare. At the highest point in the sky, when Numa hangs directly overhead like a silver coin flipped face down, the icy streamer finally touches the far mountain range and tears the first 2 peaks clean off. The 3rd peak, just before the ocean, holds. The moon slows, then stops. Then, ever so slowly, sways back toward the mountain and begins to pull closer. Hard to tell, but you can tell people holding rocks and then saying after a few minutes, "See and won't block it no more." And the town drunk took a long look down his still full bottle and did something he would never do, tossed the bottle mumbling, "Bad batch if I've ever seen one." Aunt Glad, matter of fact. Well, they really are ice ants. I knew what they were doing. I just didn't think they'd pull it off. Impressive, annoying. Kalm, you're with me. No one's taking over my mirror realm again. Nada lifts her head. Glad, soothing. Oh, Nada, you know I meant our property. Nada curls tighter, wraps up Aunt Glad's leg, and rests her head on her shoulder. Glad. You've gotten heavier, haven't you? Might be time for a little hibernation soon, Nada. Fury, standing up, stretching. Well, Riot. Looks like we're on village morale, reconnaissance, and passive resistance. Riot. What? What are you talking about? Kalm, grinning. Shouldn't Big Bro be throwing on his armor and grabbing a sword? I mean, my hammer's already dressed for war. She holds it up with a smirk. My hammer's never met a bug it couldn't squash. Fury raises a hand to quiet them both. Fury. No, no. They're not here to crush us, not literally anyway. They're against useless waste but enslaving us well. They'll want us alive, useful, and numb. We relax, we observe, they show routine, we find weaknesses. That's the plan. Glad, nodding. They're not abandoning Numa. They'll never abandon Numa. Antlytics who knows for sure. The morning after smoke curls above the rooftops. A quiet tension hums underfoot like distant static. Kalm, watching the sky. I guess Aunt Glad was right. They're not leaving Numa. They're bringing it here. Fury, snorting. You'll get used to that. Kalm. Is the moon getting closer? Fury. No, to your aunt being right. Just then the town drunk, now dressed in a stained scarf and mismatched boots, marches down the street like he's got a purpose. He's never walked straighter. Town drunk, loudly. Town meeting, down at the docks. It's official now. At the docks. There should be water. Even during low tide, the boats should be bobbing. Instead, they sit in cracked, muddy stillness, stranded in the shape of a forgotten fleet. The drunk now messenger stands awkwardly on a crate. His tone isn't exactly sober, but it's clearer than Kalm's ever heard. Town drunk. Okay, so first off, they really hate the name ice ants. Like, a lot. Apparently, it implies they were cut off or bitten off, and they say they were pushed away. Now they're back. So, not cut off anymore. A few villagers glance at each other. He waves dismissively. Drunk. They're calling themselves the elites. Technically, the elite and magnificent lord rulers. Look, I didn't pick the title. They picked me. Someone, muttering. Why you? Drunk, shrugs. I asked the same thing. They said I was the most pliable. Anyway, from now on, I'll be your go-between, your voice of the people and theirs. He grins awkwardly. Drunk. Now, this dock is our new daily meeting place. We'll be distributing work, evenly, fairly, with purpose. And I'll be in charge of that, too. He looks very proud. No one claps. The birth of Nada, flashback. Younger Grandpa Fury stands over the massive corpse of a serpent, its body wrapped halfway around the town's outer hills. Blood steams from deep slashes across its belly. He claps his hands clean like he's just finished chopping firewood. Fury. Well, she fought like a storm. Would have been a nice early night if she wasn't. The snake's stomach shifts. Something moves inside. Fury grins. Fury. Oh, good, pregnant. I was worried I'd get to relax. Aunt Glad arrives with zero rush, her arms crossed like she's done this 100 times. Glad. You won't find much sport in the rest. Not full term yet. Most, I'll be harmless now. They slice the belly open. Inside, a pile of stillborn and malformed snakelets, some fused together, some translucent, gasping, a few with 2 heads barely twitching. Nothing worth killing, but nothing likely to live either, except one, not the biggest, not the strongest, just stuck. Tightly looped into a knot as if she'd grown wrong, curling in on herself to make room. Glad. She's twisted, but alive. She lifts the baby snake with surprising care. The knot doesn't loosen. Nata, she whispers. That's your name now. Guess we're both complications that didn't stop breathing. Back to now. Lavaquake at the edge of reality. The ground shakes, in both the mirror realm and reality. Mountains rumble. Flaming stones burst through the remaining portals, skipping across fields like molten pucks. One massive, glowing boulder crashes 10 feet from Glad and Kalm. Glad tilts her head. Glad. Well, that's different. Kalm's eyes go wide. Kalm. Wait, what does mirror lava do? Glad, shrugging. Same as regular lava, except it doesn't turn to rock anytime soon. The volcano pulses again, this time synced perfectly between both worlds. Glad grins. Glad. Let's go, damn it, and reroute the flow. Better to choose where it wrecks. Another blast echoes through the mountains. Kalm. Shouldn't we go help Grandpa and Riot? GLAD. If it's exploding here, it's flowing there. Besides, the icy ants can't touch it till it cools down. I bet they'll use it once it hardens. Free materials. Molten foundations. In the real world, Riot and Grandpa Fury oversee the villagers at the edge of the dried-up seabed. The ocean was gone, the heat rising. Humans now hauled more than just driftwood and coral. They dragged slabs of volcanic rock, still black, jagged, and steaming. In some spots, the builders had dug trenches to redirect the lava itself. Let it flow where they wanted, block the trench, let it cool, hollow it out. Use the crust for structure and the interior for more building material. They'd only managed this 3 times so far, but they were getting the hang of it, and what they were building was no temporary shelter. They were laying the foundation for something massive, something tall, a castle of molten history, forged by people too stubborn to die quietly, even if the ocean returned. The moon stops moving above them. The moon had stopped. Not metaphorically, literally. It loomed huge and low, no longer just reflecting sunlight during the day, but dimming it, casting a strange eclipse over a third of the sky, like a permanent overcast that refused to burn off. Sunrises and sunsets now painted the moon in odd colors, and nights, brighter, longer, hotter. The lava never fully cooled anymore. Fury's small moment. Fury spotted a winged ant, an elder, maybe injured, being belittled by others while trying to push an overloaded cart with a busted wheel. The ant's wing dragged. He couldn't fly, only glides. Without a word, Fury pulled up his hood, limped toward the cart like an old man needing balance. He placed one hand on the edge, just enough to look like he was steadying himself. But secretly, perfectly, he was lifting the weight off the bad wheel. The ant didn't speak, but Fury could feel the thanks in his head. He didn't reply. He just kept walking. Pat justice. As Fury made his way back toward the village, he passed a group of human laborers slumped over, barely able to push anymore. Coincidentally, they were the same ones who used to mock the town drunk. The ant overseer barked something sharp, then got instantly swarmed by smaller worker ants. In seconds, it was torn apart and dragged off. A new overseer stepped in, calm, silent. Within minutes, the humans had shade, fresh water, and food. Half from town, half from the newly exposed ocean floor. They were split into 2 crews now, one working, one resting. No one questioned it. Mirror camp heat. In the mirror realm, Kalm and Aunt Glad oversaw their camp. The realm itself was heating up. Blame the real-world lava. A wide moat of glowing magma now encircled the outer boundary, casting sharp light across the reflective terrain. Nada, for some reason, loved it. All warmth, no responsibility. The blacksmith's message. Back in town, the blacksmith spotted Grandpa Fury walking by and dropped everything right at his feet. "Sorry!" the smith yelped, then bolted. He left behind a rolled-up scroll, tied tight, with a strange piece of metal tucked inside. Fury scooped it up and ducked into the now-empty bar, unrolled the scroll, blueprints, an escape hatch, direct tunnel access to the Queen's chambers. The metal? Some kind of key. He was tucking the plans away when the town drunk stepped out of the shadows, holding a fresh bottle. "Hey," the drunk said, keeping his voice low. "You don't tell the elites that I'm still drinking, and I won't say you're skipping out on work." He took a swig. "I'd never ask someone your age to do hard labor. You were always good to me. Shared your wine once, even." He glanced at Fury's cloak. "Hide muscles under that thing all you want. No one expects anything from you. They had me test some of the ones who act their age. If they can't lift a water bucket, they're weaving banners or handing out drinks just to stay out of the way." Fury smirked. Didn't know chucking you a bottle before a wrestling match counted as sharing? The drunk smiled, already walking off. I didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. Shouldn't you be out there being seen? Ordering people around, town boss? They parted ways without another word. Riot, the builder. Riot? He worked. He hauled, stacked, and measured. This staircase needs a handrail, he said. Make it uniform or don't bother. He pointed to a marked spot on the dirt. No, no, not there. That's where they want the statue of their queen. See the X? Then to the workers. 10 more minutes, then you switch crews. Just push through. That new guy with the whip looks like he actually wants to use it. Don't give him an excuse. Clear that area, then you're done. He wasn't yelling. He was leading, and everyone felt it. The moon's gift. That night, if you could still call it night, the moon sat like a god overhead, close, full, bright enough to read by. A new structure stretched upward, bridging from the edge of the valley to the mirrored sky. The framework glimmered, almost geometric. A permanent path was forming, something that looked like a multi-tiered walkway, thin enough for ants, wide enough for four. At the camp, back in the mirrored realm, Kalm was pacing, agitated. This is insane, she muttered. We're just gonna sit here and wait for them to build a whole damn empire? And then hope Grandpa orchestrates a plan? Glad shrugged. Kalm gripped her three-headed hammer tight. Nope. I'm smashing something. Soon. I don't care what kind of empire they think they're building. Nothing's overwhelming us. The hammer gleamed, reflecting the rising heat in its curved, polished heads. Even its face seemed to twitch at the temperature. Plans, tales, and queens. Mirror realm. Campfire heat. Glad watched the lava moat flicker with a smile on her face. Glad, grinning. Oh, if there's one thing your Grandpa Fury's good at, it's cooking up a crazy master plan. She stretched, squinting toward the glow. Glad. Wait, how long's it been? She turned, eyes widening. Glad. Nada! You really shouldn't leave your tail in the magma like that. Nada hissed and lifted her tail, its scales now lined with solidified magma and threads of volcanic glass. Glad, murmuring. Oh, she chuckled. Glad. Someone's just as ready as Kalm for an ant fight. Nada. Planning room, inn basement. The basement of the inn smelled like old ale, rusted tools, and damp stone. Fury stood at the center of the room, leaning over a rough wooden table. Riot hovered nearby, arms crossed. A few others were present, men the blacksmith trusted. Not friends, not even allies on most days. But tonight, they had one thing in common: survival. The blacksmith, slightly out of breath, dropped a new scroll on the table and pointed with a grease-stained thumb. Blacksmith. Yep, dumb buggers are making a straight tunnel right to her room. And it's gotta be big. I mean big, he smirked. Blacksmith, muttering. Guess that queen of theirs ain't never heard of a diet. He shifted uncomfortably and added with a snort. Blacksmith. They demanded to be on the far side, but then the volcano went off over there. Lava, quakes, heat. Now they don't trust it, or maybe they just don't want to melt. He scratched behind his ear. Blacksmith. I don't know. Maybe it's not ice on 'em, more like armor. Grown from the cold. Makes 'em big, slow, till the broken wing queen finally dies. Then maybe the next one can fly once she's light enough. Fury didn't flinch, just nodded slowly. Fury, the tunnel we found leads right under the main support for their bridge. He glanced at Riot. Fury, we blow it up. Enough explosives to shake the moon back into place. His eyes narrowed. Fury, Conted. And in the chaos, we take out the queen. Riot raised a hand, not buying it just yet. Riot. Won't that just trap a bunch of elite ants on our side? Cringe. Queenless ants aren't better. Riot, Conted. Right now, at least with a queen, we know the chain of command. We haven't even killed anybody yet. Fury's tone didn't change. Fury. I've got a different plan for the queen. Not even sure if it's mine. Riot blinked. Riot. What? Fury. I think we've got a sympathizer. Or maybe we're on her side. Either way, feels like someone else handed me this plan. He tapped the table gently. Fury. Didn't come from up here. He pointed to his head. The blacksmith, quiet now, just gave a slow nod, still not fully following. Blacksmith. Awkward. Yeah, they don't talk like us. You just kinda know what needs doing. He shuddered slightly. Blacksmith. Still makes me feel sick, especially the big ones. Fury locked eyes with Riot. Fury. Then I'm positive. Killing the queen is priority one.
The town drunk sits alone on an overturned crate, half shadowed by torchlight. Empty chairs, half a sandwich, and a single glowing shard of mirror beside a bottle. He talks to himself, but not like he's drunk, like he's rehearsing. They think I'm too stupid, too drunk, to know what they're up to. He takes a sip, doesn't even wince. But when their perfect plans fall apart, when everything cracks wide open, I'll be the one holding the rope. I'll be the one still standing. He looks up at the ceiling like it's listening. And then, they'll give me the respect I deserve. He raises the bottle like a toast to nobody. Behind him, the mirror shard glows. Just slightly brighter. Cut. Oh, he's trying to do one of those occupation siege stories. Probably gonna stretch it half a season somewhere else. Like those fluffy bunnies faking a woolly apocalypse on the other playlist. But here, next episode, it all goes down. If it goes down like we planned. See, we've got one bonfire, 2 weapons, and a very questionable map scribbled on the back of a grocery receipt. And if the queen ant shows up mad, well, let's just say you better comment now while we still have a comment section.